Today, we're going to crack a code. Seriously, it's a code that writers use every single day to control where you focus your attention in a sentence. It's the secret sauce that makes writing feel powerful, and by the end of this, you'll know how to use it too. Okay, let's dive right in.
So take a look at these two sentences. On the left, we've got Shona cleans the house. Super simple, very direct. And on the right, the house is cleaned by Shona. Now, they both tell us the same basic information, but you can feel it, right? The energy, the focus, it's all been shifted.
So that's the mystery right there. Same facts, totally different impact. So what's the secret? Well, believe it or not, the answer is hidden inside the sentence structure itself, and we are about to find the key.
All right, time to put on our detective hats. To solve this puzzle, we need to look for two key clues inside any sentence. These clues are going to tell us exactly what's going on. Let's call them the subject and the agent.
So our first clue is the subject. The subject is just what the sentence is all about. It's the main character, the main focus, and you'll almost always find it right before the verb. You can almost think of it as the headline of the sentence. And our second clue? That's the agent. This is the doer, the one who's actually performing the action. So, who's doing the cleaning, the running, the building? Whoever that is, that's your agent. Okay, so we have our two clues, the subject, what the sentence is about, and the agent, the one doing the action. Now it's time for the big reveal. This is how these two little elements crack the entire code. And here it is. This is the whole secret. In what we call the active voice, the subject is the agent. Simple. The focus of the sentence is also the one doing the action. But in the passive voice, the subject is not the agent. The focus of the sentence is just receiving the action, not actually doing it. That's literally the entire difference. Here's a really fantastic way to remember this. In the active voice, the subject is the star of the sentence. They're front and center, they're performing the action, they're taking the spotlight. So how do you actually build one of these passive sentences? Well, it follows a pretty clear formula. You're basically just flipping the sentence around. You start with the thing receiving the action, pop in a to-be verb, and then end with the original doer. It's a very predictable pattern. Let's look at a real example so you can see what I mean. In the active sentence, the birds ate all the seed. Our focus is totally on the birds, the doers. But when we flip it to passive, all the seed was eaten by the birds, our focus shifts completely to the seed, the result. Same event, totally different narrative focus. Okay, so right about now you're probably thinking, all right, active voice just sounds better. It's more direct. Why would I ever use the passive voice? And that is a fantastic question. See, the passive voice isn't weaker. It's a really powerful tool for strategic communication. Let's look at why you choose it. You see, you choose the passive voice on purpose. It's a strategic move. You use it when the person doing the action is a complete unknown, or maybe they just don't matter. Or you use it when the doer is totally obvious. And most importantly, you use it when you want your audience to focus on the result of the action, not the cause. It can even make you sound a bit more polite. Okay, check out this perfect example. The bridge was built in the 1700s. Who built it? I have no idea. You have no idea. And for the story we're telling, it just doesn't matter. The real focus here is the bridge and when it was built. The passive voice is the perfect tool for that. Or how about this one? Toby was promoted last week. Do we really need to say, Toby's boss promoted him last week? No, of course not. It's totally obvious who did it. The passive voice respects our intelligence here by cutting out the fluff. And this one? This is where it gets really powerful. Think about this sentence. Hundreds of homes were destroyed by the storm. The tragedy here, the real story, is what happened to those homes. By using the passive voice, we put the focus right where it belongs, on that devastating result. The story is the homes. Okay, so you've seen the evidence, you've learned the code. Now it's your turn to play detective. I'm going to show you a few sentences, and you decide, are they active or are they passive? Ready? First up, the delicious meal was cooked by the chef. What do you think? Find the subject, and then ask yourself, is it also the doer? If you said passive, you nailed it, absolutely. The subject is the delicious meal, but it's not doing any cooking. It's just receiving the action from the agent, who is the chef. So the subject is not the agent, it's passive. All right, ready for the next one? Sarah planted the flowers in the garden. Active or passive? Go. And that's right, it's active. The subject is Sarah, and she is absolutely the one performing the action of planting. The subject is the agent. Sarah is the star of this sentence. Nicely done!
Okay, last one. This is a classic. Mark's phone was stolen. What's the verdict on this one?
Yep, that is absolutely 100% passive. The subject is Mark's phone, which clearly isn't doing anything. It received the action of being stolen. And notice, the agent, the person who did the stealing, is completely unknown. This is a perfect, real-world use of the passive voice. So when you boil it all down, here's the big takeaway. Neither voice is better than the other. They're just different tools for different jobs. You use the active voice when you want to be direct and powerful, and use the passive voice when you need to be strategic and precise. So now you have the code. You know the secret. The only question left is, how are you going to use it to tell your story? Thanks for tuning in.